Our next guest leads the effort to use live streaming and virtual reality to attract younger audiences to his games. Joining us right now in a Fox Business exclusive is Washington Wizards owner and Monumental Sports Entertainment CEO, Ted Leonsis. Ted, good to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for joining us. And during the break, we were talking about how exciting that game was, and yet when you look at the ratings or the viewership, it actually probably won't hold up to the excitement that we saw.
Well, sports gratefully still is the big convener of live audiences, so it's very, very valuable as a media property. But it's getting harder and harder as kids graduate from college and they're growing up in a wireless world. They don't have TVs in their dorms. If you want a sobering experience, walk around a college dorm, they have their iPads. They don't have TVs anymore. But for the cable industry and the networks, having live sports is very, very important. We just saw what the NFL did in taking its rights and placing it onto Twitter. I think that was a good move for Twitter to be able to stream those games. At the same time, you know, Yahoo streamed a game last year and got 2-3 million people watching it, which was a decent kind of cable TV rating. And Amazon bought Twitch, and they have e-gaming tournaments, and they get 20 to 25 million people watching it. Wow. So there's this whole new world that's developing, and you know, we in the media industry and the sports industry have to be cognizant of it.
So what are you learning that the millennials want? What do they? I mean, obviously they want it live, they want it now, they want it streaming, but attracting the fans in general to the games.
Well, millennials are about experiences, so you really have to program in-game. You really have to make it interactive so that if they are watching on their OTT kind of platform.
Over the top.
Over the top. You know, less and less young people, they graduate from college and they replicate their dorm experience in a rental apartment, and they're not signing up for cable.
Is the problem that they're not playing sports as much when they're young? And why isn't great product like that game last night, why isn't that good enough to get these kids watching and going to games?
Well, last night was probably very, very good for TBS and for CBS and the NCAA. And even though the audience is down, it still probably had the best rating in its time period. And to be able to bring people to watch something live is still very, very important.
By the way, I just want to point out, Matt, that the NFL says Thursday Night Football, we said it earlier, is going to be streamed this Thursday night on Twitter. Twitter stock is up 3.3% right now on this news. So this is obviously also impacting the stock market.
Well, that's good news for Twitter, I think, which they could use. Are you getting millennials to the games, and is it frankly too expensive to get some of the games? We've all watched ticket prices go up. We've all planned those games and how to get the family out. Is that a problem? Are you just getting them to games?
For our hockey team, we've been sold out for 8 years in a row.
Because y'all are awesome.
Thank you. We have a good team. And that's really created an issue for us, because the only way you can get tickets is on the secondary market, and they really hike up the prices. So that is an overall concern if they can't afford to come to a game and they aren't able to watch the game on TV. So what they end up doing is going to bars and watching it, you know, in a very communal kind of setting. So I think the challenge for all of us is, one, to have other sports. We just bought an AFL, an indoor football league team. We own a WNBA team in D.C., and we'll try to use those teams and other sports, create OTT networks, and try to find a blend between streaming and in-arena to be more relevant to young people.
Well, that's the thing, because today you don't even have to go to a bar and watch it on a big screen. You've got the big screen and all the technology at home.
Yeah.
So you don't need to actually go to the stadium.
That's probably one of the big issues that's facing the NFL as their audience gets older and older. It's just more convenient, more comfortable to watch at home on a big screen.
Well, it's a TV sport, too, the NFL. You can actually see a lot more and learn a lot more watching TV than you sometimes can.
All the stats.
You want to take it even further than that and have helmet cams, right?
Well,
are you going to do that?
I think data is going to drive a lot of the next generation entertainment, and literally every action, every heartbeat, every step that a player takes will be measured, and one day you'll be able not only to do fantasy gaming, but you'll probably be able to place bets on each individual play, each individual movement, and that will really, really amp up the engagement. And also create big new revenue streams and create new tax base.
Well, look, we've spoken to Zebra, right? They're going to put semiconductor chips in the football players.
Why can't we just have an appreciation and love of the sport?
Well, you can, but people just want more and more information. They really want to feel like they're in the game. We were the first NBA and NHL team to use virtual reality, and it's really spectacular now. Oculus just shipped last week, so that will start to be socially accepted. But when you put on those goggles and you're in the game, what we let our fans experience, we let our sponsors experience, but it's the greatest teaching aid imaginable. And I think you're going to see virtual reality just working its way through the financial services business, the healthcare industry. It's just the best way to be able to present and have the student, have the young person retain that information.
You're absolutely right. With those goggles, you feel like you're there. Ted, great to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for joining us. Ted Leonsis.